So today I'm going to go over the notes on the French Revolution and on Latin American revolutions in question and answer format for the second part of my series on midterm reviews. So let's begin with the French Revolution. So what are the 8 causes of the French Revolution? The arbitrary nature of the king, influence of the Enlightenment, success of previous revolutions, aka the American Revolution, privileges of the aristocracy, confidence of the bourgeoisie, which is like the middle class-ish, restrictive mercantilist laws, financial difficulty of the king, and the hardship of the French peasantry. Not really misery, just hardship, like inconveniences, stuff like that. So what started the first stage of the French Revolution? So a financial crisis forced Louis XVI to tax the nobles and the clergy. What did Louis do to solve this crisis? So he called the States General for approval to tax the clergy, the first and second states. So what did the States General say in response? So they said that they would be willing to, but only if they could control government expenditures. So what was Louis's response? He rejected their bargain and he disbanded the meeting. What started the second stage? The tennis court oath. What happened at the tennis court oath? Representatives met in the tennis court and they vowed not to disband until they wrote a constitution for France. What group did they form replacing the Estates General? The National Assembly. What was the result? Louis fires Neckers, and there was a storming of the Bastille, and there was the end of the Ancien regime. What stage came after the second stage? The Great Fear. So in between the second and the third was the Great Fear. So what started the Great Fear? Louis and his family were brought to Paris. What are some reforms of the Great Fear? Abolition of noble privileges, declaration of the right of man, and freedom of religion. What started the third stage of the revolution? The Constitution of 1791. What did this Constitution do? It created a limited monarchy with a unicameral legislative body. What did Louis do? He reluctantly agreed to rule constitutionally. What was the international reaction to this? Austria invaded France to restore Louis's power and end the revolution. What was the reaction of the monarchy and the aristocracy? Nobles immigrated as the violence grew, and Louis and his family attempted to flee France. Sorry, not flee. So, what do we call the nobles who fled? Emigres. Whose rules, what started the fourth stage? Whose rule started the fourth grade? So who got power and that started the fourth stage of the revolution? That was Robespierre. What group did he lead? The Jacobins. What legislative body did he establish? The National Convention. What happened to Louis XVI? He was executed. What did what police force did Robespierre establish? The Committee of Public Safety. What was the goal of the Committee of Public Safety? To end the foreign threat and to create stability at home. What did the Jacobins' rule lead to? The Reign of Terror. What happened in the Reign of Terror? Royalists were executed and arrested. Marie Antoinette was executed as a traitor. Anyone who opposed the revolution was executed, and the military draft was adopted to defeat foreign invasions. What happened to Robespierre? He was also executed. What government gained power in the fifth stage? The Directory. What was the Directory? It was 5 moderates. Describe the Directory. They were weak, corrupt, and broke, and they depended on the army to maintain control. Who ruled in the sixth stage? Napoleon. What did he establish? A military dictatorship. What were Napoleon's achievements? He reorganized the finances for France, developed an education system, and developed the Napoleonic Code, which created equality for all men. Describe Napoleon's foreign policy. He created an empire in Central Europe. He ended feudalisms in the nations that he conquered. he created the continental system, which failed, and he had a fateful invasion of Russia that failed. What eventually happened to Napoleon? He was exiled to Elba. He gained power for 100 days after that, and then he lost power at his last battle of Waterloo. At his last battle of Waterloo, that was what he lost, and then he was exiled to St. Helena. So Helena. What are the results of the French Revolution? So there's a limited monarchy. Limited monarchy replaced absolutism in France. Feudalism ended in countries that were conquered by Napoleon. The Napoleonic Code became the basis for France's legal system. The revolution was spread to other areas. Europe tried to be more conservative in their political philosophy for the following decades. What phrase describes what phrase describes the French Revolution? Liberty, equality, fraternity. What meeting did conservatives hold after the end of the French Revolution? After the end of the Revolution, they held the Congress of Vienna. Who led it? Clemens von Metternich. What three principles founded the meeting? Legitimacy, reparations, and balance of power. What is the concert of Europe? It's the idea that powerful states in Europe work together to maintain the balance of power. So France has become way more strong than Germany, or vice versa. So now we're on to Latin American revolutions, and that was quick. So what are the main causes of the influx of Latin American revolutions? Social inequality, Enlightenment influence, Napoleon's conquests, American and French revolutions. What country was Haiti a part of? Haiti was a part of France. What was Haiti called back then? Saint Domingue. Who started the revolution in Haiti? Toussaint L'Ouverture. What happened? The French troops put down the rebellion and captured Toussaint. Who won Haiti's independence? Dessalines. What viceroyalty included Ecuador, Venezuela, Colombia, Bolivia, and Panama? New Granada. Who led the revolution in New Granada? Simón Bolívar, the liberator. What state did Simón Bolívar want to start to unite Latin America? Gran Colombia. Who led the revolution in Gran Colombia? The Criollos. What viceroyalty included Argentina, Peru, and Chile? Rio de la Plata. What ethnic group led the revolution in Rio de la Plata? That was the Criollos as well. So, who, in terms of historical figures, led the revolution? José de San Martín and Bernardo O'Higgins. What revolution did Bolivar, Martin, and what battle did Bolivar, Martin, and Higgins. What battle did Bolivar, Martin, and Higgins win? The Battle of Ayacucho in Peru. What began the struggle for Mexican independence? Who began the struggle? Padre Miguel Hidalgo. Where did he do it? In Dolores, Mexico. What is his peasants' revolt called? Grito de Dolores. What was the result? He was defeated by the Peninsulares and the Criollos, who led a more organized revolution in Mexico for 4 years after that. Padre Jose Morelos. What was the result? Peninsulares and Criollos, led by Iturbide, put down the revolt. Or Iturbide, sorry. So who eventually won Mexico's independence? Agustin de Iturbide. So that was a plot twist. So why did Iturbide rebel? Because the liberals seized power in Spain. I guess he wasn't into that. What started the movement for Brazilian independence? So King John VI fled Portugal, and he set up court in Brazil after Napoleon's conquests. What happened after Napoleon's defeat? John returned to Portugal. Who did he leave to rule? Dom Pedro. What did he do? He declared independence of Brazil. What are some social problems in Latin America post-independence? the peonage system, which led to unequal distribution of land. Criollos owned hacendados, and the peons were forced to, they were tied to the land. There was a strict social class structure, and the criollos had all political, economic, and social privilege. What are some political problems in Latin America? Regionalism due to the geography. Hacendados held political power. There's a lack of democratic experience, power struggles between caudillos and oligarchies, and they have the triangle of power. So what is the triangle of power? It was the three main groups that controlled Latin America. So you could kind of see it like this. It's like a triangle. So the caudillos were at the top of the triangle, the hacendados were in the middle, and the Catholic Church was the base of it. What were some economic problems in Latin America? So they had a cash crop economy. They had to import their food. They imported goods prevented home industries from developing. They had a lack of industrialization, which prevented growth of the middle class. Sorry, I can't talk today. Foreign investments to build ports, build facilities, which so people in Latin America, the countries, they had other countries invest money so that they could build facilities, but when they couldn't pay back their loans, they were taken over by the people from those countries. So there is foreign intervention. That's a big problem. Who was the first president of Mexico? Santa Anna. Who ruled after him? Benito Juarez. What was his motto? Liberty, order, progress. What ethnicity was he? He was Zapotec Indian. I thought it was Native American, but whatever. What movement did Juarez lead? La Reforma. What are his accomplishments? So he redistributed land, and he separated the church and state, and he provided public education. Who ruled after him? Archduke Maximilian. How did Maximilian come to power? The criollos asked France for help to overthrow the liberal Juarez government. So who ruled after Maximilian? Juarez ruled again. So Maximilian was overthrown, then we get Juarez. So who ruled after Juarez ruled the second time? Porfirio Diaz. Describe him. So he was a totalitarian dictator who used terror tactics to oppress his opposition. What did he accomplish? So he stabilized the economy and provided order. Who ruled after Diaz? Francisco Madero. How did he get power? So the criollos led a revolution against Diaz, and Madero was elected after that. So how did he end his presidency? He was assassinated. Who ruled after him? Victoriano Huerta. How did he end his rule? He was overthrown within 15 months. Who overthrew him? Venustiano Carranza. Who did Carranza ally with but ended up betraying after he got power? Pancho Villa and Emiliano Zapata. What did he accomplish as president? So he created a modern constitution. How did he lose power? He was overthrown by his general. Who overthrew him? Alvaro Obregón. What did Obregón accomplish? So he promoted Mexican nationalism, and he created the Constitution. He put into action the Constitution. So how does his rule end? He was assassinated. Who took power after that? Institutional Revolutionary Party. So that stayed for a long time after that. So what did James Monroe adopt in this law? So the Monroe Doctrine. What did it say? No new or recolonization of Latin Americans by Europeans should happen. What was it called when Texas seceded from Mexico? Texas Succession. Oh, that's easy. So what did it lead to? The Mexican-American War. What was the Spanish-American War fought over? Independence of Cuba. What were the rules what do you call the rules that the U.S. gave Cuba and said they had to follow if they wanted to get independence? The Platt Amendment. Why did the U.S. tell Panama to leave Colombia? So that the U.S. could build the Panama Panama Canal. What did Roosevelt corollary add to the Monroe Doctrine? So it said that it made the U.S. a policing power in Latin America. What is fake news called? Yellow journalism. And what did yellow journalism lead to in the late 1890s? The Spanish-American War. So, I hope that helps you study, and I'm going to keep going until we get through all of it. But I hope that this helped, and good luck!